We just got a new standard banner featuring Phantom and Rosa as our 6 stars and Swire, Kazemaru and Waai Fu as our 5 stars. Let's talk if this banner is worth your hard-earned resources. Before we get to the video itself, make sure to support my channel by liking, commenting and subscribing. It really means a lot to me. I would also like to point out that I only talk about these operators' gameplay. You should always pull for the operators you like and want instead of listening to me. I am not your dad. Waifus and husbandos over Maida any day. So let's get to the banner itself. I would say that this is a skip banner. Rosa is very niche, and while Phantom is probably the best fast redeployment operator in the game, it's still better to save for extremely strong limited banners we are about to get in the near future. Let's take a look at the operators. Starting with Rosa, a heavyweight sniper who prioritizes attacking heaviest enemies first and ignores a large portion of heavy enemies' defense. She also gives some bonus attack to all operators from the same faction that she is from. So that would be Kami, Zima, Istina and Rosa. Her future module will further increase the damage she deals to heavy enemies and isn't really worth getting unless you find yourself using Rosa a lot. Let's take a look at her skills. Rosa's first skill is a simple damage up, and as usual with skills like these, it's not really worth using ever. Her second skill is a very long duration damage buff that also allows Rosa to attack an additional enemy. The skill itself looks very solid, but realistically, if you're using Rosa, you're probably using her for the third skill that just provides more than the first and the second skill. And then we have her third skill that gives a small attack boost, targets up to 4 heaviest enemies within her range, binds them for up to 8 seconds, attacking them all once a second. This is her go-to skill, providing a long duration bind and pretty decent damage that prioritizes heavy enemies. The skill allows you to hold bosses and tough enemies in place, allowing you to easily burst them down with other operators' help. Let's have a quick summary. Rosa prioritizes attacking heavy enemies and ignores a large portion of their defense. Her damage can be very valuable against enemies with high defense and resist. However, she's very niche and almost never the most optimal choice. Her third skill provides up to 8 second bind and is very useful for holding bosses and tough enemies in place. Overall, Rosa is a luxury operator. Her personal DPS is held back by her very slow attack speed. She provides valuable, long crowd control against heavy enemies, holding them still while your other operators can burst them down. She is very niche and there aren't many stages where she truly shines. And then we have Phantom, a fast redeploy specialist who can summon a clone with same abilities as Phantom but a separate redeployment time. His module refunds a portion of his TP cost when retreated and further reduces his clone's redeployment time. It's definitely worth getting if you use Phantom as your go-to fast redeployment operator, as the module fixes Phantom's 2 biggest downsides, TP cost and clone's redeployment time. Let's move on to his skills. First, I would like to point out all of Phantom's skills are passives and they're all good for different situations, and he doesn't really have a go-to skill that is better than the others. His first skill gives him a large shield and high chance to dodge physical damage. It is a great skill for situations where you need Phantom or his clone to bait enemy attacks and skills. Phantom's second skill gives him 10 stacks of an attack boost, a stack getting consumed every time Phantom attacks. This skill gives Phantom and his clones a large amount of front-loaded damage, making it a great skill for dealing burst damage and assassinating enemies. And then we have his third skill that deals a decent amount of AoE physical damage to nearby enemies when you deploy Phantom. It also slightly pushes enemies back and inflicts either a bind, slow or stun. The third skill provides very valuable fairly long duration CC and some burst damage. It is great for stalling or interrupting enemies. Let's have a quick summary. Phantom is a fast redeployment operator who can summon a clone that uses the same skill as Phantom. The clone's redeployment time is much longer than Phantom's and can be a bit tricky to keep track of. His clone is extremely valuable and can block and kill enemies or tank enemy skills. He is fairly simple to use but can require some planning to truly shine. Phantom's first skill provides tankiness, second skill front-loaded damage, and third skill crowd control. He is extremely versatile. Overall, Phantom is a luxury operator. While he is probably the best fast redeployment operator in the game, he only truly shines in extremely hard content such as very high risk CC. Most players are just fine using other fast redeployment operators. He is extremely versatile, but also requires planning and timing. The playstyle of using him and his clone is also something that some people really dislike. And then finally, let's take a look at the 5 stars. Sadly, all of the banner's 5 stars are extremely niche, and I can't recommend tent pulling. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more Arknights content. See you in the next video.